Hi, and welcome to today's session. My name is Cilvy Dupras. I'm a psychotherapist, coach, and hypnotist that lives and works in Sudbury, Ontario, Canada. And today we have a special episode that I'm going to feature on Thursdays, where we look at other therapists that work in the area or other therapists that work in areas that are different than mine. And that could really bring something unique to both my YouTube channel and to those that peruse either one of our sites. So today I am with Cilvy Dupras. She's my colleague. We actually work in the same office in Sudbury. And Cilvy, I guess we're going to just start off with just an introduction of the type of work, how you came to do the type of work that you're doing, and that kind of stuff. So I give you the floor.
Okay, so I'm Cilvy Dupras. I was born in Montreal, so the accent goes accordingly. I learned English. I was 29 years old. Sorry. I started working in psychiatry. I was 17. Very first job, PSW, and it was kind of, oh my God, I'm home. So they wanted me to become a psychiatrist, and I said, no, it's not for me. So at 21-year-old, I became a sexologist, which was unique and special, and I loved it. But mostly because I've always been keen on making sure that people could work on with themselves, be grounded with themselves, and be grounded with, have the intimacy and have the words. So this is why here it's called options and communication.
Right.
Okay? Because we have options, whatever the options. And because we have communications about our options and all of this. So on the course of my career, I started as a 21-year-old sexologist. I became a certified family mediator because it helped me a lot working with couples, working with family, because I worked with incestuous family at some point and couples with lots of abuse and my specialty became to work with people who were victims and victimizers, both male and female.
Okay.
With sexual abuse. Now, it's evolved, but that was what it was. So, so becoming a family mediator was the thing to do. It helped me so much to work in the conflict resolutions and all of these, and making sure that people would be able to kind of talk about their needs, and we would negotiate the needs of everybody.
Okay.
And because consent was very, very important in human sexuality, and our freedom stops where the freedom of other people starts.
Right.
So negotiating all of this is very important. It's very important in human sexuality. And then when the Ontario offered opened the College of the Registered Psychotherapist, I applied and became one.
Okay, so, cool.
Yeah.
So just a little bit about kind of the educational background and how you get to become a sexologist, and is there a difference? I'm not sure in Canada. I know in the States there's a difference between a sexologist and a sex therapist. Maybe a little bit highlighting your education stream in terms of where you are today, and also what's the difference between a sexologist and a sex therapist. Yeah.
Okay, so I have a BA, so baccalaureate, and a MA, a master degree in sexology.
Okay.
So I really have my 6 years of sexology, because this is how it was in Quebec, actually, University of Quebec in Montreal.
Okay.
At the time, I've been practicing for 30-some years. So
Right.
I entered the program in 1980.
Okay.
At the time, you could become a sexologist. So it was 3-4 years of sexology, a BA. This is why I was a 21-year-old sexologist.
Okay.
Now, I wanted to specialize and become both a sex educator, a trained sex educator. I could educate other educators, and become a sex counselor and therapist. So a master degree helped. I naturally had both master degrees. It's just that it was the same number. So I studied for way too long. But I went to get both. So they called it profiles. So you had a sex education profile, sex counseling profile, and sex therapy profile.
Okay.
I was young enough that I did all of it.
Okay. Excellent.
So yeah.
So when a person comes and sees you, if they have difficulty, and we're going to get into kind of what clients typically present and the kind of
Yeah.
questions that are asked. But at the same time, you have kind of more of a global view, not just the study of human sexuality, but
Yeah.
also a therapist approach. Because I know it's not just about understanding human sexuality, but sometimes it's overcoming overcoming trauma, like you mentioned before, and sometimes that helps more so in a well-rounded, holistic approach to care. Correct? Yeah. Okay. So what are the typical things that a person would see you for?
Okay, so usually we would kind of put it in two kind of categories. One would be the symptoms, and the other one would be the cause.
Okay.
So for many depression, anxiety, PTSD, the sexual symptoms would lead people into therapy.
So clarify that a little bit. So if a person is depressed,
libido have chances to go really low.
Oh, okay.
But we've seen the exact opposite. People with higher libido with depression. Because they're kind of counter-producing.
Okay.
Same thing with anxiety. I can perform because I'm too anxious.
Okay.
So the problem is not sexual per se. The problem is more, the difficulty is more with anxiety.
Right.
But the symptoms are sexual.
And also the combination with certain medications. I know certain medications, because I hear it reported from patients all the time that since they've been on this antidepressant or this anti-anxiety, their libido goes down significantly.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we have the cause. So we have the sexual dysfunction.
Okay.
So people would come in counseling for a difficulty with erection, difficulty with having orgasm, or experiencing or having fun with orgasm. Because we can have the physiological symptoms of the orgasm, but we don't feel anything. So it's kind of, what's the point?
Right.
So to kind of enhance, there is a lot of cheating. There is a lot of lack of intimacy. People are having sexual encounters, but they don't really connect on the intimacy level. And right now with I've had up or down to 5 years old that I work with that was looking at watching porn on an iPod. So right now, because of all the electronics, we have a lot of people that get their sexual fantasies are very important.
Right.
But to get all of them, all the needs, many people don't have sexual encounter anymore.
Right.
They use the electronics all the time.
And I think in a society that's very more instant gratification, there's no things are available on a phone or on a tablet. It's immediate, it's quicker.
Exactly. But people I joke very often, but I will never stop being a sexologist because people know a lot about the body parts, the body function, but they don't know about the mind, the intimacy, the connecting. So what do we do with these parts? Yes, we can rub them. It can give pleasure to a certain point.
Right. But it's and I get clients that talk about that too. Just the sense of disconnect that they get from everybody, not just during sexual encounters, but they just feel disconnected. And I think one of the great ways to feel pleasure or contentment or joy is to be able to be in a moment and a feeling of fulfillment.
The mindfulness.
Correct.
We work, actually, that was quite funny because I was talking about my education. Sexo 101 was Introduction to Sexology.
Right.
Sexo 102 was relaxation, visualization, and meditation, even in 1980. They knew because back then they made studies with people and they took the people, 10% of people in studies that says, I'm very satisfied sexually.
Right.
And the 10% of people said, that sucks.
Right.
And these 10 people, they took the characteristic and it was meditation, yoga, music playing, running, marathon, all of these things that ask patience, endurance, time.
And connected to body.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's
sense.
what we don't have. Well, what the society is not promoting it nowadays.
Okay.
So we'll have to go back there.
Okay. So you talked about causes, and I can imagine because I get that a lot from clients too. in terms of when an affair takes place, the rebuilding of trust and the rebuilding of intimacy. And I know in my work with clients, I say it's really hard work to come back from an affair. It's not impossible.
Oh no, it's not.
And it's never going to be like it was. It could be better, but it'll never be like it was. So there's a sense of grief and loss that needs to take place about where the relationship was. But it could be about creating a new place, a better place where you can really feel connected in a different way. But the other thing that happens is the person who committed the affair, if we look at it that way, their level of impatience in terms of, can we get on with it, can we move beyond it? And so I can really understand on how it's difficult to really recreate intimacy and trust when that's been when that's been violated.
And be in the present and be in the betrayal, because like this is not something that we work a lot in society.
Correct.
So
Yeah, I can see that. So maybe spending a few moments on just quickly on the 5 myths that people think or associate to sex therapy.
I think the one that I hear the most often is sex should be like it is important, or on the electronics, or okay. So people, and we have problems with younger person right now.
Okay.
They think that sex between two people who want to connect, who want to be committed, and so it has to be like in the porn. So the girls have to.
Well, like in porn, sorry.
In porn,
okay.
yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Okay. And the characteristics, like the way that we're supposed to have orgasm.
Right.
Okay? Like there's 100 million ways of having orgasm. Actually,
right.
We can have orgasm in 30 seconds without touching ourselves.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
We don't see this in porns because it doesn't sell.
Right. Yeah. That's right. That's right.
This is not how. So there's more than porn.
Okay.
To sexuality, to human sexuality. The other
Number
one
2
is we have to have an orgasm for sex to be satisfying.
Okay.
And no, because if we go with intimacy, actually one of the exercises we give is to have sex without the orgasm, and people look at us as if we had 5 heads.
Okay.
Okay, it's kind of no. I am serious. I
right.
give you some exercise. I'll give you touching, feeling exercise, and the what I want you to come back with is what it did to yourself.
Okay.
To touch your partner like that.
Okay.
Be present in yourself, and actually it helps a lot in erectile problems.
Okay.
And erectiles and into fast ejaculation.
Okay.
Like we tell people, try to ejaculate faster.
Right.
Really?
Right.
Yes. Stay in your body.
Right.
Okay, so it's kind of,
Third?
The third one is sex should be spontaneous.
Okay. Okay.
Who has time right now, with kids, with job, with problems, with health, with aging parents, with,
right.
with transportation, with winter, that
right.
sex has to be spontaneous.
Right. And I think it's back to a return when you're younger and you're dating and stuff, and it can happen often because you don't have a lot of those other interferences that you talked about. But when life happens and life gets complicated, I think what you're saying too is it's important to prioritize time for that.
And we have the same thing for the 45 years old and up.
Correct, yeah.
Because there's no kids at home. Well, most of them have less
most
kids.
Most of the time.
Most of the time, most of them.
Yes, that's right.
And so, yeah.
Okay.
So they're more free. And
4,
nobody wants to be caught cheating.
Nobody wants to be caught
cheating.
Oh, that's an interesting one. Why is that a myth? Explain that one a little bit more.
Because there is a lot of people that would use the cheating in order to say, okay, this is enough. We have a problem. We have to talk about it, and it's not happening.
Okay.
So it's kind of sending us. I'm not saying that everybody who cheats
right.
wants to be cut, and it's a lot more complicated than that.
Right.
Cheating is complicated.
Right.
Okay. But that would be that very often. It's a signal. It's something that people very often. But it would be a myth that nobody wants to be cut.
Okay.
So that's
gotcha. And the last one?
Well, everybody loves sex.
Okay.
We know statistically there is 1% of the people who are asexual. Sex is in nowhere under their radar.
Okay.
Okay, so how many Canadians? 33 million?
Yeah, something like
So
that.
1% of 33 million
That's
is?
quite a lot of people.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many Americans?
I think
yeah, 300 some
million or something.
How many people?
Yeah, that's a lot of people.
1%.
Right.
Okay. So, and we have the 1% of people who are asexual.
Right.
We have the second percentage and third percentage a bit sexual.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. I would say that the lower or top 10% of people who don't feel very sexual. Like, it's not everybody loves sex. And more than that, the older the women are, the more they appreciate thoughtful and mindful sexuality. Like, not everything and anything would do.
Right. And I think what would come with that too is if couples have different libidos, I think that could cause a lot of problems within the relationship.
That's one of the reasons people come in.
But again, if the relationship is going good, then it doesn't really create that much of a problem. But it's when the relationship is not going good that it can create even more problems.
And that's why we'll end up with cheating as a red flag. As a alarm system.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this has been great. We're hoping to continue with these kinds of meetings of the minds, hopefully on a regular basis, so we get to learn a little bit more about different approaches in terms of what could be helpful for you. So I'm hoping that you'll either give us a thumbs up or write comments down below in terms of what you would like to see in videos to come, and more information from Cilvy. They could probably reach you if you're on Google. You can look for Cilvy under psychotherapist in Sudbury. She's on Psychology Today, and your
matters and a lot.
Yeah, and I'll put a lot of the information down below in the comment section. So with that, thanks so much for joining us today, and we wish you a fabulous day. Thank you.